October 26, 2009. We here on the spot. Just got back from a press conference with ethnic media with Bill Thompson. It's all right. My guest here is Mary Alice Miller from Our Time Press. How are you, sister? We glad to have you.
How are you today?
Thank you. Are we okay? How's everything with you?
Wonderful.
What do you think of the press conference with Controller Bill Thompson?
You know what? I thought it was very good. I thought that the opportunity for mayoral candidate, possibly our next mayor, Bill Thompson, the opportunity for him to be able to express himself to ethnic media in the city was very good, especially a little more than a week before the general election.
Because 8 days left.
That's right, those media in the next few days are going to write their impressions of Bill Thompson.
Okay, we're looking forward to your article. So, can you tell us something? What do you think, how things going on the mayor's race? I had to ask Bill myself, where is his surrogates? I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know who he is. And I think he's not. He's out there and he's working hard. But I had to ask him, where's his surrogates? Where's these other political leaders on a continuous basis pushing his platform, pushing his agenda? Why we should elect Bill Thompson?
You know, I don't know. Bill Thompson has been out there all over the place. I've seen him all over the city. I've interviewed him.
He's one man. Where's his surrogates?
Well, he can have surrogates, but the bottom line, if there are people who did not know who Bill Thompson was, what they need to know is who he is, and they need to connect his face with the fact that he's been the controller of New York City, managing the pension funds and looking at the city contracts and auditing the agencies for the past 8 years. They know we have a controller. There are a lot of people that don't even know what a controller does. Mm-hmm. So now our controller is running for mayor, and because he is a little geeky. He's a friendly guy, but he's kind of geeky, which is good because he was managing our money for the past 8 years.
Yes, indeed. He's signing checks.
Exactly. Yes. So being geeky, he still got the job done. It's just that people needed to get to know him as a person a little bit more. So he had to get out there, and he's been doing his campaigning face-to-face throughout the city. Okay,
so what is your commentary on this here mayor's race? How do you look at things? Let's start with talking about Bloomberg. There's a lot of pause there.
Because to me, one of my major issues with this election is term limits. It hit me to my core.
8's enough?
To me, 8 is enough, especially when I'm one of those New Yorkers who's been voting all my life. I voted twice for term limits. And the reason why I voted for term limits is when it was sold to us the first and the second time, it was part of it was that there should be a limit on the number of terms that people who are elected to citywide office should hold, so that it would give an opportunity for new people to come in. If you don't have term limits, then you can have one person be in an elected office citywide for their whole life, for 50 years.
Like it's a job.
Yeah. And what about the opportunities for people, for the talent across the city to come in and serve New York City on an elected basis? So that was to me, I bought that line of reasoning for term limits. And there has been nothing that made me change my mind with that.
Mayor Bloomberg voted for it also. And he said it would be a disgrace to overturn the will of the people. So what happened?
There have been theories that have gone around that say that up until last summer of '08, that Mayor Bloomberg had the idea that Christine Quinn would be the next mayor, and that she would make a good storyline being the first female and openly lesbian mayor in the city of New York, and that she was supposed to succeed him as mayor. But something happened along the way to the plan, and that was Quinn got caught with her hands in the cookie jar with the slush fund scandal, with several council members, staff having had problems, and 2 from Kendall Stewart's office have
got locked up.
Exactly, been pled guilty or convicted, and they're in jail now, or under sentencing now. So I hear that they're looking at Larry Seabrook up in the Bronx. They looked at a couple of others. So the bottom line is that with Quinn claiming that in 2005, I believe it was, that slush fund money was going out to her district, and she didn't find out until 2006.
Okay, but tell me something. Wasn't the mayor at the end of it all? Wasn't he up there with a few people who was in the slush fund also?
Well,
or was that his personal money he used? Okay,
there are two separate things. First, three separate things you just mentioned. One, the city council is a separate branch of government from the mayor's office. Mm-hmm. The city council is the legislative branch. They make the laws. The mayor's office is the executive branch. It administers the city. So there are two separate branches of government. Technically, there are two separate pots of money, even though overall it's all New York City taxpayer money. But the two pots of money are administered separately. Those two pots of money are completely different from Mayor Bloomberg's personal money.
See, we already understand. He don't have to give you any of the city money. He can give you his own for whatever reason he want to. But now, we definitely know Larry Seabrook's name, Christine's name,
and a few others.
And a few others, yes. And it's still, you know, we haven't heard about it. And we don't know when it's coming out, but Department of Investigations will let us know. But now,
more than likely after the November 3rd election.
Okay, so now, with that in mind, I know I did switch it a little bit, but I just, as you said it, I thought about, didn't the mayor, at the end of it, like months later, his name was mentioned in the same way? That for special people, for certain things, they were getting money allocated to them?
That's true. The New York Times did an article this summer about Mayor Bloomberg giving money to certain groups, nonprofit groups in Brooklyn, and the New York Times found out that the groups were giving that money under Simcha Felder's name, who is a councilman in Brooklyn. And Simcha Felder said he didn't know anything about it. Okay. So I don't know of any investigation that came up behind that. Part of the problem is, on the one hand, the money, the so-called slush fund, really, it's called a slush fund because sometimes people say it's money for political favors. Really, what it is money that is given to nonprofit groups to carry out services that the city does not provide. And a lot of these organizations do good works.
Yeah, of course.
But at a certain point, where is the line between organizations getting funded for doing good works for the city and just being a political extension of somebody's campaign?
Okay. So now